3, 2, 1. This is the Phantom of Many Topics. Today is April 23rd, 2022. We are at the El Paso Comic Con in El Paso, Texas. We were here about 7 months ago. Yesterday I made a video at the Air Wings Museum in San Teresa, New Mexico. Today we are doing the walk for the El Paso Comic Con. Right now it is about almost 2 p.m. on the Saturday, which means that it is the time where most people are here. It's not going to get any more crowded than this. Right now I estimate about 5,000 or 6,000 people attending this convention. I'm never correct with the numbers, so who knows. The Comic-Con is organized by a nice guy named Troy. He does a very good job of organization. He owns a comic book store called Zia Comics in Las Cruces. There is also sometimes a Las Cruces Comic-Con as well, and I think I've made videos there in the past as well. So we're just you can see not very many people are wearing masks because the COVID period is now over. And then there's a Dalek, exterminate, exterminate, exterminate. Oh, he's not, I guess he's not. Exterminate. So, anyways, you can see how crowded the floor is right now. Yeah, I would say about 5,000 or 6,000 people in the building right now. This is your typical Comic-Con with one exception. There's going to be William Shatner. William Shatner, who is now 91 years old, and he will be coming soon. His plane lands in about 15 minutes, and his autograph is $120 per autograph. And of course, he's going to be no filming allowed of him. But tomorrow he is actually doing a panel that the public can get into. But I think that that line is probably going to have to build up really quickly. So who knows? Oh, it's Herbie! Herbie! We are Cylon Raiders. Obey! Oh, okay. So, this is some of the cool stuff here. There's a Cylon Raider. Oh, okay. That Mr. T was here a few years ago. There's Master Chief from Halo. And I think I misquoted it last time. I didn't say Halo, I said something else. I'm not sure what I said last time. Okay. You can check the old videos to see what I said. Whoa. This is an awesome green mobile. Joker mobile. And you got the Batmobile. Batmobile. Lossless wheels. Spidey. And Kingpin! Kingpin! Okay. So, and then, okay, Batmobile! Batmobile! And then the Scooby-Dooby mobile. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, where are you? So we're just going through the edge. I'm not cutting through the center booths at all. And, so there's Godzilla! There's Godzilla! It's Godzilla! Whoa! Godzilla! And then, anime characters. There's video games here. Okay, I'm just doing a quick walkthrough video. I could spend more time looking at each individual booth, but I'm only getting 50 views out of this anyway, so why bother? And I want to thank my friend Coachella for commenting on my video yesterday, the museum video. Always a good friend. He runs a channel that covers the Chelsea Football Club. It's called Chelsea Perspective, if you're interested in English soccer. But so anyways, we're just cutting through here. Like I said, about 5,000 or 6,000 people is my guess. Although, you know, I'm never right at guessing how many people are actually in the building. But this is a fun convention to be at. It's always been a fun convention to attend. So I think we're through Artist Alley right now. There's a lot of artists in Artist Alley. Yep, so over there, later on we might sneak a...
Wow.
It's gonna be William Shatner. He's not here yet. Okay. So the William Shatner line is already building. It's gonna be over there. I'm gonna have to turn off the camera because they're not gonna let me go through there with the camera.
Is strange to me and, of course, wonderful. Next question.
Right over here.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Have you ever heard of the rare earth hypothesis? This is based on the fact that
Yes, I have.
one of the scientists from UC Berkeley said they found phosphorus in only 10% of the galaxy. And what do you think of the rare earth hypothesis?
I disagree with it because the whole idea that this entire universe and we are the only inhabited planet is, and it's a cliche, but what a waste of space. And while that hypothesis with the phosphorus may be correct, there are potentially other life forms who do not need those types of requirements. Now, the ancient astronaut theory suggests that we are the offspring of another civilization elsewhere in our galaxy, which would imply that whoever came here in the past, they look like you and me. But this would not deny the idea or the speculation that there are other life forms that are completely different looking from us, who can live under different habitat conditions.
Okay.
But the idea that we are the only planet with intelligent life because of this rare earth hypothesis, it is an incredibly anthropocentric viewpoint.
Okay.
And as a philosopher, I cannot agree with that because it would be a giant insult in the face of creation if our planet Earth would be the only planet in the universe that hosts intelligent or even any life, because that would mean that God's creation was not big enough or is not big enough. So that to me is an insult towards, you know, existence, because if we are the only game in the entire universe, that to me is an insult in the face of God, because that means that she could have not done better.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Post away.
Made me think of it is whenever, if you ever have the opportunity to pitch a television series, one of the things you have to do in a pitch is actually define who your characters are that are going to be in the series. So, like, say if you're writing something like Star Trek, you're gonna tell who Captain Kirk is, you're gonna tell who Mr. Spock is, and it's just going to be like a 1 or 2 paragraph kind of description of who they are, what their characters are like, what their personality is like. And that can be a really enormously helpful thing as you're developing a character for long-form books. It's really not any different than doing the character sheet thing, except that you're maybe doing it, if you don't necessarily want or need the stats, that's basically the same thing.
And now I'm going to negate everything we just said and tell you this. You can create them as you go, and it's okay. All right? You can just kind of have an idea who this person is and just keep writing it, and you'll learn more about them as you go. And as you learn stuff, put a note somewhere or file it in your head if you've got that kind of a memory, and just keep track of it. It's okay to create characters that way too. If you're like, well, I'm never going to get started on this book because I have to create all these. No. Get going. Get writing. That's the idea. Yes.
Yes. Most people write in first person or third person. Have you ever written in second person? You are opening a door. You are walking in.
I have
blah,
not.
blah, blah. Oh, okay.
I have not written in second. Have you guys?
Yeah.
I have not, as in putting on my editor hat, which also, I spent 20 years editing a magazine as well as writing, and then I've also edited novels. I have received a lot of second person submissions. And it is a tricky thing to write and actually sell. Because for me, as a reader and as an editor, what I have to do is I have to read that and believe I am the you that's being addressed. And what I find a lot of the time is the writer has such a specific you in mind that they don't sell it to me. That it's like I don't cross that willing suspension of disbelief. I find myself going, I would never do that. And a really good writer who does the second person knows how to write it generally enough and maybe put it in just a lot of times it gets used for horror because it becomes kind of, you can imagine what the monster that's coming at you. Okay. And I think that's where I see it used a lot. And I think you need to keep it general enough, or you need to keep it disorienting or mysterious enough that you're not quite sure who the you that's being addressed actually is. So there's a really tricky way to make you work. So I think you have to kind of know who you is being addressed, but you have to be careful how much of that comes through in the story and how you present that. So
first person's hard enough, man. I don't want to.
Actually, I can add to that because you perspective is used. Well, hopefully you guys all know who you are, right? But that perspective is used a lot in text adventure games. Because when text adventure games first came out on the PC, it was all along the lines of you are doing this, and this is what's happening, and you are doing this next. So in traditional adventure games, they still use that. So like if you ever pick up an Oculus and start playing an adventure game, you'll notice that a lot of the instructional dialogue and narrative is done from a perspective as you are doing this. It's framing your character and giving instruction and narrating it from that perspective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's a different use of that. But obviously in writing, you never write like that. But in that application, it works awesome because you're giving instructions to the person that you're trying to guide as their character.
And sometimes I think also where you can use you in fiction in a similar way as that is sometimes, and it can come up in a novel sometimes, is you're writing as someone reads something that is addressed to another person, and that person wrote a letter or whatever to another person, and it's kind of maybe it is written deliberately with the idea that a third person narrator or a first person narrator is reading this thing addressed to you. And that becomes a scene that they've encountered. So.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, I've encountered it in the Choose Your Own Adventure novels.
Yeah. And really, D&D, that's what DMs do, is they say, you go.
You all go into the city. Right?
Please don't kill the bartender.
Yes. You all start off, you walk into a bar.
Oh no, you killed the bartender.
Oh no.
Please don't kill the guards, they'll kill you.
Please don't kill the maid.
Right? Now the maid's dead, what are you going to do?
I'm going to resurrect the maid and seduce her.
Oh, no.
No, only if she's a dragon.
All right, Waldo, I see you